Right, there we go. We are live. Welcome everybody to a live stream. I'm joined by my friend Peter over here. How you doing, Pete?
Yeah, I'm good. Nice sunny day again.
Yes, and here we are stuck inside on the internet.
Talking on the internet, never mind.
Yes, so welcome if you're watching us live. Good to see you. We've got a bunch in. We'll say a few hellos in a minute. If you're watching after the fact, drop me a message. Let us know what you thought. We thought we'd get together. We haven't really had a one-on-one chat as such, and we've known each other for quite a while now, so it's overdue.
Yeah, definitely.
And we thought we'd chat about, you said you're 3 years in to reselling.
Yes, 3 years down, and we'll still not wiser.
Yes, see if you are any wiser, what you've learned in that period, and we'll get into that. So let's say a few hellos. Can you hear dogs barking?
I can hear dogs barking, but I've got dogs next door, so I don't know whether it's my end or your end.
I'm going to shut my door. Hold on. They're not my dogs.
No, we don't have dogs. We've got guinea pigs, and they don't bark.
They're not so noisy. No.
They're not so noisy.
So yeah, we are live. Please pop in and say hello. If you are watching us live, we'll take questions as we go if we can, but we may leave that towards the end. Mr. Blobby is in. Linton, when did I go live? Now we are live. Peter Ray, we were just chatting about you, Pete. Microphone has turned up. I didn't have a chance to set it up, so I'll save that for Sunday. But thanks for that, Peter. Appreciate it. Hi, Laura. So a few quick hellos. Sean, welcome. Oh, it's just jumped. It's just jumped right down to the bottom. So I've missed loads and loads. Hey, Tim.
Steve Green is already being cheeky because there's this thing going around, which was probably started by Shelley, about me subtly mentioning my YouTube channel. So people always say, "Oh, do you have a YouTube channel?" And I'm like, well, yeah. But nowadays I'm just saying, shh, don't mention the YouTube channel. So I'm being very coy about it. So I might do, Steve, you know.
We'll get onto that in a minute.
Yeah,
Steve.
Don't tell anyone. It's secret.
Aaron is in. Good to see you. Gimbal, another Aaron. Yorkshire reseller, Cats Rants. Okay, so hello everybody. There he is. Yes.
Chic boy.
Only he does. Richard. Right. Okay. So where do we start? So what I wanted to ask quickly is, so you've been reselling for 3 years. Were you reselling at all before that? Or was that when you went and decided I'm going for it full time?
Yeah, I was reselling before that. I kind of had I did a bit of reselling while I was still working in 2003, weirdly enough. I remember sort of someone saying, "Oh, eBay, you love eBay. That's just your sort of thing." And a guy I was working with, his son also did eBay and Amazon and sold loads of sort of media. I think it was probably VHSs at the time and CDs. Mm-hmm. And it amazed me that his son did it full time. It's really a lot of weird things about this, because his son was the guitarist in Spiritualized, which were my absolute favorite band. You know, it was a guy called Doggan, if you want to look it up. But he sold media on eBay and Amazon. And I was like, how does he do it? And he goes, oh, he just sends it in. So I went through this splurge in 2003 of going around car boot sales, which I kind of generally like to do anyway, buying loads of VHS tapes for about 50p and putting them on eBay and trying to get about a tenner for them, you know. And some of them, like, I remember I sold like a This Life complete series and that got 70 quid. And I was like, yes. You know, that is incredible.
I vividly remember picking up This Life sets at the time, and Ally McBeal sets, and all the stuff.
Absolutely amazing.
And we sold hundreds of videos before it all switched over to DVD, obviously gradually. But yeah.
So I got really into that, and kid stuff as well. I mean, like, you know, Postman Pat and Rosie and Jim, sort of stuff like that. And then I kind of did that for a bit, and then I think work sort of took over, and I got back into work, and I probably changed jobs. And I kind of didn't think about eBay again until 2016, when sort of my job ended. You know, what I did then, I always had office jobs since I was about well, about 25, I think. I was like a reward analyst, which is a person who sort of looks at salary surveys and decides how much people are being paid and how much bonuses should be and all that sort of thing.
That sounds brilliant, Pete. That sounds wonderful.
Well, it's a bit analytical, and it's a bit. Yeah, I mean, you get to see lots of like quite interesting information because you get to see everybody's 3,000 lots of wages and what the variances are. But that job ended. My last job I was working in Wimbledon, and it was a choice then. I kind of thought, well, I could contract, and that might be quite good because I've never actually done that, and I probably could get quite good money for that. But a friend of mine said, "Oh, why don't you sell on eBay?" Because he knew that I'd done it before, and I was like, "Well, you can't do that full time, can you? That would be madness. That'd be ridiculous." And he said, "Well, I know a friend who does that, and he sells vinyl to sort of like local to us." And I said, "Well, first question is, how much does he make off it?" And he goes, "Well, he earns enough to live on." And that was like, well, okay, well, if I can do that and it's possible to do that, then I might look into that. And that was September 2016. And I spent the next sort of 2 or 3 months doing the thing that everybody does, is looking at all the videos, and found you talking to Z, which is when I, started watching Tat Chat, and looked at all the US ones. I looked at like Global Voodoo, looked at Craigslist Hunter and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I thought I might have a go at this, and it was really a case of like, I've got to try it, and if I don't try it now, like I was 40 something or other, if I don't try it now, I'm never going to do it. And do I really want to be going for another office-based job when I'm probably going to be up against lots of 20-year-olds trying to impress? And I don't really care anymore about getting an office job. So that was it. It was just like, I've always wanted to do this. Let's go for it,
So I guess the way you describe it, you didn't go into it with wild expectations, I guess, but has it lived up to what you'd hoped you'd get out of it 3 years in?
Yeah, I mean, it's totally different. I think when I started off, I was like, okay, well, here's where I want to be in a year's time, and if I'm not there, then I'm going to jack it in and get an office job because I've got my set goal. And after a year, it was like, well, I'm nowhere near that, but I'm enjoying it so much, because I think I set myself unrealistic goals after coming from, a job, which obviously paid okay money. And going into something when you start off reselling is very difficult to hit a really good level straight away. And you have to be realistic about how much you can earn when you start off, because it is difficult.
That's really interesting to hear you say that. So you had perhaps unrealistic aims financially, and you may not have achieved them. But what you alluded to was the lifestyle and the enjoyment is worth as much as maybe some of the targets you had.
Totally. Not. I mean, I was earning enough to, by the time the 12 months was up, I was earning enough to, finance what we needed, even though it wasn't what I kind of wanted to earn, having come from a full-time job. But it was like, okay, well, I'm a year in. The profit is going up each month, and I can see it increasing slowly, and it's paying the bills, and I'm loving it so much. And the freedom it gave, I mean, I've got 3 kids, and the freedom it gave me to sort of be here when I wanted, and just be around the house really has been absolutely fantastic. And I just love the hunt and all that sort of stuff. So
exactly. There is so much more to life than money, and we try and kind of make that a theme on our channel, if you like. It's not a get rich quick scheme.
No,
it's not easy. It's a lot of hard work, but there are benefits beyond the financials and stuff for your well-being, for your mental health, for lots of other things. It's interesting you mentioned your kids, Sam. What age are your kids, if you don't mind me asking?
One's 11 and the other 2 are 8 or 9, and 8, I think. Right. So I've got to think about it because I've got birthday coming up. So I've got twins. So
they're old enough to understand what you're doing and perhaps appreciate that they've got you around more. What's their view on it, on the change that's happened over the last 3 years?
Well, they do. Yeah, they definitely enjoy, having me around. Although they don't sometimes realise that I do have to work, so I do have to put a sign on this door sometimes saying, don't disturb. And like during half term or school holiday time, or now as lockdown, they are in all of the time, sort of, hello, daddy. And I'm like, oh, hello. I'm actually quite busy at the moment. And of course, when I get hauls of toys and stuff, stuff goes out, Lego goes out, lightsabers go out, and they're like, are you actually planning on selling this? I'm like,
I was going to
yeah.
say, do you have the issues where you get back from a boot sale, look at my cool stuff, and they're like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I got a big Lego haul a couple of years ago, and when I was bringing it through the house, they were like, oh, wow, he's got, Kylo Ren, oh, he's got Harry Potter, and they were all over it. But
and you were like, yes, and Kylo Ren is a $5, and this is Leave Alone.
That's it. Occasionally they might get the odd bit, but they don't get a lot, to be honest, and they do understand that. So
yeah.
But they get all new stuff, so that's sort of fair enough, I think. So.
Exactly. I'm just going to quickly dip in the chat, see if any comments coming in. Hi Nathan. Having no boss and the freedom means more to me than the money. Exactly, and I think that's what we were both alluding to. Reselling is a lifestyle choice. It's not an easy lifestyle choice necessarily, but the benefits do outweigh some of those difficulties.
That's definitely right. I mean, and that's what I saw in an office environment. I worked in an office environment for like 25 years maybe, and seeing how people are rewarded in that environment, having sort of privy to that information, you do sort of see that it's not all of the time how hard you work or how good you are at your job. Sometimes it is the office sort of politics and who you can impress and all that sort of thing. And that kind of got to me a bit, the reality of it. It may not be true in all cases, but, I saw it quite a bit. And I just thought, I just really want to be responsible for myself and, earning my own money. I'd always wanted that, since I was a little kid, the thought of having my own business. But I never quite knew how I could do it. But eBay's given me that. And, that kind of empowerment is fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really, really is. Yes, Sue, time and freedom is priceless. It is. And I think the older we get, I mean, I think we're similar age. You realize that, we're getting to the point in our lives where there's more of it behind us than in front. And it makes you reevaluate what's important, right?
Yeah.
And the decisions you make are shaped by that. And being in control of my life, having as much time as I want to, at least the ability to choose what I do with my days, and the options are there. I still struggle with the work-life balance thing, even though I'm in complete control over my working life, and that's the struggle I have. But yeah, I think as we get older, different things become important. I'm not chasing being rich. I'm not chasing being successful in the terms that others might use it.
Well, exactly. I mean, I don't exactly. Yeah, I don't really want to be the best, and I don't want to compare myself to other people at all. I just want to be happy with what I'm doing and comfortable that, I'm making good money, but I've got a good quality of life away from work. So, yeah. Oh, Karin.
Yeah, what's this about? Question. Nick, ask Peter how his wife serves him his tea.
Well, I was doing the List 5 Live, which yesterday, which I do every Monday at 11 o'clock. And Liz knocked on the door because she knew I didn't want to be disturbed. And she had a cup of tea for me. But we've got the stairs go sort of round the corner and down. And she was sort of leaning over. It looked like she was she kind of was on her knees. So there's this bit in the stream where she's giving me like a pan au chocolat. And I just sort of said, well, I always get served tea like that with people on their knees.
Wow.
So there you go. I can't complain. A little pan au chocolat.
That's how it goes in the Cummins household, apparently. Yeah. Excellent. Good to see you, Karin, by the way. Hope you're well.
But that was a very rare appearance by Liz, because she won't come on stream. And I think she said she suddenly saw herself and then legged it. So.
Okay. Work hard when you're young and take it easier when you're older.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I was definitely a lot more ambitious when I was younger and thinking, oh yeah, I want to do that job and that job and that job. but now it's just all about sort of happiness and being content in yourself. Definitely, like I say, I think you learn that there's more to life than trying to be the best or earn loads of money or whatever. It's sort of self-contentment is a major thing. So
it's funny because I still have ambitions and goals and things, but they're kind of tempered with the ambition of trying to be comfortable and
it's difficult.
That should be an ambition of everyone's, right? And I think I got rid of most of my real ambitions when we worked ourselves to death in the retail trade.
You can really go too far, being ambitious. And I remember being at work and waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking, I've got to get this done, and just working ridiculous hours. And then I kind of thought at the end of the day, who's this really for? And and even if you're getting overtime or whatever it is for it, is that money actually worth it? Now, in certain situations, again, if you're young or if you're saving, I can see that it might be worth it. But when you're approaching 50, you're like,
and we're all at different points in our lives, very obviously. And there's some really, Reseller Kid, great example. There's some really young guys who follow our channels, and I admire that fire and that ambition and
definitely
to grow and all of that. Absolutely go for that. We're two old fuddy duddies. Don't listen to us.
I know. Look, he started a quiz channel. He's going to
steal. No, good luck with it. Peter Raising, good to see you. Yes.
He's my local rival.
You find local resellers, and have you been recognised? Have you been recognised from doing YouTube?
No, I've never been recognised, thank God. Although I have been out with Pete a couple of times when he's been recognised. In actual fact, when we were in Hitchin, came up for the meetup, I saw Peter just before the meetup got going, and we were both in one of the charity shops on that square. And someone came up to him and went, "Are you Peter Ray?" And they had a chat with him, and I was like, "Excuse me," but they didn't recognise me at all. But Peter Ray always gets recognised, but not yet. I don't know. It might freak me out a bit if I do. So who knows? I was expecting it to maybe happen this car boot season, but of course that's been all delayed. So
we might get onto that in a minute. I've got a couple of little things I wanted to ask you. One, we kind of covered it a little bit, but has reselling been harder or easier than you perhaps expected?
I think it's been harder, to be honest. And I remember talking to Shelley about this when I went up to Hitchin. I kind of maybe thought naively that I could come into reselling. I've got lots of experience in with project management and in the work environment, and I know how to work, and I've watched a few resellers, and it was kind of like, well, that doesn't look too hard. I'll just buy some stuff and sell it. But of course, what I didn't have any experience, and I probably didn't have a realization of the work that was needed to be done. And when I first started, I think my first 6 months, I wasn't doing enough. I was maybe going to my local charity shops, and only my local charity shops, maybe once or twice a week, maybe, and going to a car boot when they were on once a week, and that was one car boot. And after 6 months, I was I'm not earning too much money from this. I wonder why this is. And I remember a couple of things asking fake Rachel, and I said, because I was looking at what she did, and I was like, "Oh, you're amazing. How often do you source? When do you go to charity shops?" And the reply was, all the time. You just sort of do it all the time. And that was a real light bulb moment. And asking Tom as well. I remember asking him, "Oh, how many?"
Don't ask Tom how often he sources. He never stops.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is like the tale of Britain's greatest hoarder. But I remember saying to him, "How often do you go to car boots, or how many car boots do you do a week?" And this is at the time when I was maybe doing one a week, and he was like, "Oh, I do 5 a week." And it was at that point, it was like, "Yeah, you do need to do this. You do need to, because obviously car boots are a classic example. You might do like 4 or 5 in a weekend if you can, but the rest of the week you're not at a car boot. You might have 5 or 6 days where you're not there. So and obviously the off season as well. So you have to hit them." And that was a real, turning point for me in terms of like taking it seriously.
I think what becomes apparent to a lot of people that come into reselling, and a lot of people do these days, certainly find it through social media. And on the surface, it can look kind of easy. Oh, you buy this for £1 and you sell it for 50. Oh,
Yeah.
rinse and repeat. Right, here we go.
It's not easy.
But once you actually scratch under the surface or get involved yourself, you realize that the rinse and repeat bit is work. And,
well,
and
exactly.
those that are successful in this game, funnily enough, are those that graft.
Yeah.
Right? There's not much that replaces hard graft, especially in reselling. And I think that's what people come to realize. And none of us are really flowering this up. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of repetitive work. It's a lot of grind, right?
It definitely. I mean, and it is a lot of work. And of course, the only things you're going to see on YouTube channels or on the internet is where someone has had a success. So they bought something for £1 and they've managed to sell it for like 80 quid or whatever. I mean, I don't think you ever see, or very rarely see, a video where someone says, oh, I bought a whole load of stuff and it cost me 80 quid and it's been stuck on my shelf for like 3 years. I was actually just thinking of Z and his Fugglers. So that's maybe an exception to the rule. But that's what I when you do see that, it is great to sort of see that it's not rosy in the reselling garden. And, for my first year or two, I was earning very, very little. And it's got better, but it has got better slowly. So I don't, I think a lot of sellers don't earn a huge amount of money. And it's definitely not an easy way to earn a living either. But like we said, there's a lot more to it than the money, I think. So,
Yeah, definitely. I was going to quickly touch on lockdown. I was interested to know what your experience has been. How has that affected your business? Did you have a lot of stock in the background when we came into this?
I didn't have a huge amount, but I kind of, you start finding stuff that you didn't realize you had. So, I mean, it was kind of after Christmas up till the start of lockdown, which I think was in March. I'd been doing a lot of jumble sales, so I had got quite a bit from there. More than any other year, I'd done a lot of jumble sales. And I've got this huge Lego haul, and I've got a Sylvanian Families haul, which I got about 2 years ago, but I have never got around to sorting out. So I'd really begun to make inroads on that. But yeah, it is looking a little bit thin. But my sales, I think everybody had this. The sales at the start of lockdown did go up, which was absolutely amazing. But it couldn't go on much longer. I am finding it difficult to sort of find stuff to list, and because the stuff you like to list is always the new stuff, right? So when you've got no new stuff coming in, it's so hard to sort of just keep digging around the shelves and think, it's
a tricky one, and everyone's kind of seen my battle and Tom's battle with being opportunists, because you have to be an opportunist. You have to be able to see an opportunity and go for it. And if it's worth buying one of those widgets, you might as well buy all 500 of them, right? That's
definitely.
That's kind of the rabbit hole I go down, and others. But then, of course, you can't list it all at once. You have to store it. But then you find more shiny things, and they come in, and so it builds up. So, and that side of it, not easy to manage.
It's not easy. I mean, the good thing about lockdown, I think it has given me a chance to sort of think about, the business and reevaluate and deal with some stuff that needed dealing with. So, I mean, I've just put in a whole load of new racking in like my storage area, which has been good, and tidied it up really, because it is, it was a bit of a mess in there, and dealt with lots of stuff like, I've got broken stuff that I've sort of kept and think I might fix, but got to be realistic and think, it's never going to get done, so just get rid. So
absolutely. Yeah, lockdown's done that for us. It's allowed us to kind of take a step back and a long, hard look at ourselves and our stock and go, okay, I really need to deal with some of this. I really need to get rid of some of this. I need to, actually look at it. And a lot of the stock that's been sat around has been so profitable, and it's just been sat on the shelf, and it's crazy, so crazy. It's like with the Lego. It's like just getting past that I must sort this and list it kind of mental blockage.
I know. I mean, the trouble with that was I was trying to sort of go down to sorting it out in too much detail, and it was you doing your friends' bundles. And you know, you're like, oh, I've got 80 quid for this, 70 quid for this. I was like, Jesus, like, why have I still got this? So I did that, and that was the first one, and it was like, oh my God, that is probably like 10% of the whole thing went, and I got 300 quid from it. I was like, I've got to get the rest done. So,
well, that friend's Lego, I mean, I'd had it sat on the shelf for probably 8 months, and I listed it. Only took me maybe an afternoon, and the whole lot had gone within 2 days, I think.
Isn't it? It does
And it
go.
was like, wow. Anyway, let me do a few more comments. C Flux, welcome. I'm 16 and just want to make my life dependent, and reselling is the perfect way of doing this. Thank you, everyone, for the inspiration. Okay, well, glad we're inspiring in some way. That's good to know. Hi, Chris.
There's so many young resellers. I mean, you know, and they really, I know a lot of the younger resellers do sort of clothes and go to these sort of clothing, grab stuff by weight. And I forget who it was who went to one, but I think it was the Pigs Might Fly channel. And he tried one of these, you know, buy clothes by weight. And he said it was full of young kids doing it. So they're on the
ball. Our daughter Ellen is dabbling now. She's bought a job lot of clothing. She's now making and crafting some stuff and trying to sell it on Etsy. And it's really hard not to kind of jump in and say, oh, maybe you should do this and maybe you should do that. I just need to let her run with it. Make her own decisions, make her own mistakes. And I don't want to be that dad that puts her off by just saying, oh, you should do this differently and do that. So it's,
she'll be outselling you in about 6 months.
Oh, I would love that. Honestly, I would love nothing more than that.
You can retire.
Ant Fisher, welcome. I'm almost 33, been working full time since I was 15, so 17 years, and I just had enough of working for someone else. And the relief when I handed in my notice, I know the feeling, Ant.
It's an amazing feeling. I mean, and like I say, when I made the decision that this is what I was going to do, and I wasn't going to try and get another job where I'd have to go in and someone will be my boss, and there's all that expectation there, that I can just sit here and go, right, this is down to me. You know, this is what I put in will, you know, bear you know, there'd be a correlation between that and what I get out, and it's all down to me and what I do. And
exactly. It's a thrilling moment in anyone's life. It's like kind of grabbing the reins literally and saying, I'm in charge now, which is kind of as scary as it is exciting.
Very scary. But especially when you've got family as well. I mean, it's talking about the younger resellers, that is the time to do it, because you can really try and go and do these things, and you haven't got anyone dependent on you, and you know, you've probably got a lot of freedom to do that. Doing it when you're like in your 40s, it's a little bit scary when you've been used to working for like I say, for 25 years. So.
Make the most of it while you're young. You know, it is easier to kind of go full throttle, make lots of mistakes quickly and bounce back. All of that stuff does get harder the older you get, I think. And we do have the responsibilities behind us. A lot of us have kids and mortgages and whatever. And that is a real,
it's a real scary thing.
So I owe to be 18 and living at home and having, you know, world is your oyster at that time. Reseller kid saying, I wish I was 18 sometimes. I know I shouldn't wish my life away, but it's awkward for me as I have to fit in with my family when going to boot sales, as I couldn't get a bus and carry it all home. That will all change. I mean, you're so young. I mean, you've got all of that ahead of you, you know, learning to drive, getting that freedom. Learning to drive was a big turning point in my life. That's when I started reselling in the late 90s.
I mean, I would say, you know, if you're young, just try everything. If you want to try your own business, go for it. Just absolutely go for it. If you want to try, I travelled when I was younger. So, when I was about sort of 25, did the whole year in Australia thing. And, you know, that was absolutely, and that was from, I went to university and then got a job after university and absolutely hated it. It was a job down in Leatherhead. And I sort of another scary moment, really. It was like, okay, well, I'm going to leave this job and I'm just going to get a plane ticket to Australia. And I did that. I had a couple of mates over there, so it was quite good. But that was really, really scary. But that was the best, you know, one of the best decisions I ever made, was doing that and just sort of going something completely nuts. Something that your parents wouldn't want you to do. It was like, because my dad was all like, when he still asked me, are you still going to do this reselling? And, you know, just, yes, this is what I'm doing. This is what I love.
Yes, it's my job now.
Yeah, they don't get it. You're still planning on doing it. Yes.
FNS resellers, welcome. Say hi both. Also, the work is in the detail. Keeping on top of the platforms, profit protection, etc. You can make a full-time job. Make that a full-time job on its own. Yeah, there's so much detail you can focus on in reselling if you really want to. And
I think what is difficult with sort of working sort of by yourself is that it can absolutely drift to take up all your time. So I do try and keep it, factor in time for family, because I don't want to be constantly doing it. I mean, it gives you the freedom, but sometimes that freedom the flip side of that is you can be working all of the time. So you have to watch out for that as well. Do you need a drink?
If I start a coughing fit again, I don't want to rush out of the room. I might go and get another glass of water in a minute. It's so hot in here.
I'll go through some of the chat if you want.
Richard finally got around to listing all of his camcorders. Yeah, I did. Must have been a couple of months back now. Got all of mine listed and the whole lot sold. He says sold all of them over lockdown. They've been sitting on the shelves for a couple of years. Yeah, I think camcorders sold really quick for a lot of people because we're all sat at home with nothing better to do than convert our old, tapes onto DVD, right? And so people then need the camcorders to play the tapes. I
always end up with camcorders whose doors stick and I want to check the tape. But even that, and I kind of foolishly think I'm going to fix it, but I never do. And again, they sell for parts like Sony ones or JVC ones.
Yeah, Steve documented his story of leaving work and going full time, and it was great to see that happen. Yeah. I don't care what you offer me, I'm done.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
what did Steve do as a job? Do you know what he did?
Steve was like a sort of warehouse manager type of thing. I think it's like he operated a warehouse.
What a feeling.
That sort of stuff. Can't wait to hand my notice in, going back to work Thursday. Okay, see how that goes. Good luck.
It's a brave decision to do, but it is a great feeling.
Right. Oh, there's a question in the chat. Let's touch on that one.
I was looking at that. I was just trying to think of an answer.
Okay, Aaron is in and says, question, which one new skill that you have gained from reselling would you want to get a time machine and teach yourself from the start?
Well, I touched on how much, being a bit naive about how much work it actually was when I started, and the fact you do actually need to work, bloody hard to get anything from reselling. But what I tend to focus on, and a bit of a mantra I go on about, is just having small manageable steps. So, and I wouldn't say I religiously stick to them every day. So, for example, some people will try and do like a lot of listing in a period of time, but I'm more about consistency over a period of time. So I do like 3 things. My holy trinity is that I will sort of try and get at least 5 things on. I will tidy up and I will package my sort of outstanding items. And I try and do that every day. And if I drift away from it because I'm sorting out Lego, I always know I have that simplicity, that simple process to go back to. So the skill, I would say, is the consistency. And that is the one thing I think that is important for eBay sales. It's consistency of stuff going on. You can fiddle about with free postage and dispatch time and this, that, and the other.
Right.
But if you can consistently drip the stuff in there, which is tricky at the moment because I'm not sourcing as much, but get it going in at 5 a day, 10 a day, 15 a day, whatever you can manage, but have it consistent. That's what I would.
You're right. I think they're kind of chipping away at the backlog, chipping away at listings, just keeping feeding the beast continually.
Yeah,
just
definitely.
Works. It just really works. I think.
And having the realization that sometimes you'll go off track, but having something to go back to is
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm the worst. Losing my mojo and, having a day where, hang on, it's like 5 PM. I haven't started listing.
Yeah.
What's going on? But yeah, I'm a bit like that anyway. I was going to say one thing that I think really helped me, and it helps my productivity and helps me get things done, is a little mantra that I kind of try to stick to, which is not letting perfection get in the way of good enough. And with business, you just need to get stuff done.
Yeah.
And I've been watching Mel a lot recently, Mel in Australia, and she bangs on about just getting stuff done. Definitely. And sometimes we get caught up in the listing having to be perfect, in researching something to the end of the earth. It's like, no, just get it listed, make a decision and move on. And
you can spend so much time thinking about something, and you can overthink it so much. She did do a video on overthinking stuff, didn't she? And it's so true. When you think what you could have got done in that time.
Yeah,
you're right.
And it is a skill. All of these things are a skill, that we're not born with the ability to do this stuff, and you have to learn, and you have to recognize when you're spiraling down a kind of rabbit hole of overthinking stuff, and back yourself out of it. And those are skills. And I'm kind of there with it, but I constantly have to work on these things.
Well, I think with eBay, I mean, it's you kind of have to sort of have that thing of it goes on and then it's forgotten because you've got to think about the next thing. And that could be, you could apply it to lots of things to do with eBay. I remember when I first went on and I went down to, so I started eBay and I had no items on there. So I went down the auction house in Tooting, Greasby's auction house, and bought about maybe 12 different lots. And I put them on eBay. And for about the next month, I was going to eBay every day and looking at them, going, have they sold? Have they? And I was too focused on looking at that one thing. And of course, what I've learned over time, and of course, I've got a backlog as well, is you've got to just keep, once that's on, forget about it until it sells, but get the next stuff, get the next stuff, get the next stuff.
Yep.
There's no point getting stuff on and looking at it. And it's the same with, I suppose, with a refund. Refunds get you down, or if something happens, it will get you down. But if you're wasting a lot of time getting upset about it, if you just deal with it and then move on, deal with it to the best that you can, but then forget about it because there's nothing you can do, and get something new. So
in that sort of vein, I end up with stuff on my shelves I don't want to list. I'm thinking that's going to be awkward to list, or it's never going to sell, blah 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 blah. Force yourself to kind of eat that frog and get it on. Once it's on, and then you can tweak it, you can run a sale, you can reduce the price, but once it's on, it's going to go in some form or another, or it stays on for 6 months and then I just send it to a charity shop. It's about moving the stuff,
definitely
unblocking those blockages. And I'm not preaching here. I have issues with this.
I do.
And it's something I'm still learning, like 20 years in, and it's not easy. I'm not pretending any of this is easy. I just quickly want to say, Reseller Kid, I don't think I'm going to do it full time. However, maybe part time when I'm older. I'm wanting to be a video editor, web designer, or something media related. Absolutely fantastic. The thing about reselling is it teaches you so much about money, about business, about customer service. All of those things will help whatever you end up doing in life. It's a great educating thing. I really think that's why I'm loving our daughter getting into it and finding out that this isn't easy. And I sold that for £10, free shipping. Yeah, okay, so take £3 off. How much did it cost? £4. Take that off. So what? I made £2 or £3. Yes, that sort of conversation is priceless.
Or in my case, it might be, I've lost £2. The postage is how much?
Yeah.
But it's so true that it will teach you just responsibility for yourself and what you do. It's amazing.
Yeah, and so many life skills you learn through trying to make a business work. It's so true.
You're right about stuff hanging around, though. I had an Astro Wars, which I just put on recently. I sourced it maybe a couple of years ago. It worked when I got it, and then it broke, and I was kind of so disappointed that it broke. I didn't want to sell it for parts, and I thought I might fix it, but I'm never going to fix it. And I listed it 2 days ago for 20. I think I bought it for 7, sold it for 22, and it was gone. And he's got it now, and he's happy.
22 not working.
And the 22 not working, and I sort of messaged the guy and said, "You do know it's not working?" He goes, "Yeah, it's fine. Give me something to do."
Yeah, so, that goes back to I know you tried to help with that Tomy train station train set thing, and I made a video about me failing to mend it.
I'd have had that for 6 months. That's a sad
thing.
In
the past, this is the thing. In the past, I would have. I'm really frustrated. I'll just put it back on the shelf, and I'll think about that tomorrow.
Got to be fixed.
So I didn't let myself put it back on the shelf, and I just used the pictures already done, listed it at the price I was going to put it on working, which was £50, and it sold within, what was it, 2 days, I think, maybe even 1 day. And it just goes to show that the mental blockages we create in our head, this item is now a problem. No, just list it anyway. Working, not working, for parts, whatever it is, move it.
And I'm pretty sure I bought stereos, a couple of years ago when I was first reselling, and thinking, oh, this will be great to resell. Got it home, tested it, it hasn't worked. And I'm sure I dumped a couple because I thought they're not going to, nobody's going to want them. But of course, people will take them, so people buy anything, basically.
It's a good question from Rags to Riches for you there, Pete. Have you had a month where you thought, I'm going back to a 9 to 5?
Very, not seriously. Just kind of like, this isn't, happening as fast as I want. And, have I only earned that much? Really, Well,
I don't think you'd be human and being honest to yourself if you didn't have those doubts.
Yeah, definitely. And like I say, I kind of set in my first year, I kind of had a figure in my head. I think it was like, 30,000 turnover in a year, and I thought that was reasonable. And I didn't make anywhere near that. So, but it was soon. I mean, I talk it through with Liz, and because I'm enjoying what I'm doing so much. And like I say, we were covering our outgoings. It was like, well, carry on with it. I do actually keep a track of my average monthly profit based on like the last 12 months. So you've always got a rolling 12 months profit, and you divide it by 12 to get an average per month. And that has all, it's not been like that at all, but it's been a nice slow increase. So, and I'm comfortable with that. It's just like a slow burner, really.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're improving year on year, you can't get better than that. You go heading in the right direction somewhere. It is true. Yes, you are almost always busy as a reseller. This is true. There's always something to do. Eat that frog and get it on. Is that actually a saying?
That's a bit of an office-based saying. Eat the frog. Do the most difficult thing first, which is
so tough.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, like I say, I kind of try and do packing every day, but some days it gets left, and then I wake up in the morning knowing I've got to get down to Royal Mail, going, why didn't I do that last night? So there you
go. There's Tom, your video game partner in crime.
Yes.
Yeah, Ellen is having a go. She's making some really cool stuff. We might share a link on Sunday to what she's been making. She's making earrings and stuff. And also reselling clothes. Zahir's in. We mentioned Z earlier. Good to see you. Motivation is always the biggest struggle for me. I really thought I would have sorted it by now, but no.
It's weird, isn't it?
We're similar. It's different. I've found, and it has rarely changed. Everything comes in waves for me. My productivity will be huge for a day or two, and then drop off, and then go right back up, and it's like I have zero consistency. But I'm productive enough in my up times. I'm a bit manic and then down. I don't know if I'm somewhere on that kind of scale, but I'm productive enough in the ups to compensate for the downs.
Well, you work really late sometimes, don't you? And you're up at silly o'clock in the morning, and I have to get to bed by about 11 or 12. Otherwise, I'm just done for a couple of days. I couldn't do that, I don't think. But I do like consistency, like I said. So I will wake up in the morning and I will make sure I get something done early on, because then I feel like I've achieved something straight away, and that is so important to me. And it's like, okay, well, I've got that in the bag. I can carry on, have a really great day, or if it drops off, then at least I've done that. Simple.
Exactly. And I admire that, and I can see how that would be so sensible and more productive. But I can't kind of get that. Get myself into that routine. What else did I have up here? I don't know if we kind of covered this. If you could start again, what would you change? Did we cover that? I think we might have kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably source more. I didn't realise how much you have to source. I'd probably I'd probably use the community more, because I've probably only done that in the last sort of 6 months. Before that, I was like very much muddling along on my own. I mean, I used to come into the chats and make the old Saki comment in, your chats on with Z on a Tuesday, and a few other chats, his one on a Friday. But I very much sort of like felt I was on my own doing it, and it's only sort of since the back end of last year that I've really sort of gone out there and joined more Facebook groups, and I did Insta was the first one, I think. I did that. I think Indie Chick got me into Insta.
So you mean actively asking people, what should I do with this? What is this? That sort of
just stuff. I always never messaged people, because I kind of just thought, well, people will be too busy, and why would they answer me back? But no, the help is out there, and people have started messaging me now, which is great. So
I've always struggled asking people for help. I'm very bloody minded and stubborn, and I do things my way, and to a fault. Totally to a fault, and I need to get over that, because quite often I need help, and I don't have all the answers. I've been doing this for a long time. It doesn't make me any cleverer than anyone.
No,
I don't know the stuff, but sometimes I need to know. And
nobody knows everything, do they? So.
No, and the times I have reached out to some really good friends I've got. Edward is a wonderful example. Edward Walter, same guy. And he's helped me no end with silver and antique bits and bobs. Not that I do a lot of that, but I usually get stuck when I dabble in it. And the information is out there. And if you make those connections in this community, people like to be able to help as well. I love being able to help others. I know you help people, and it's and we get as much out of helping as those we're helping, I think, which is great.
Yeah, well, it's just an amazing thing, suddenly realizing that I mean, I always knew there were other people doing it, but like I say, I needed to be more open-minded about, okay, you shouldn't be like, this is my business, I've got to work it out for myself. You kind of, you learn to realize that, hang on a minute, it's a kind of feeling like we all resellers are in this together. It's weird. I think Z mentioned it the other day. It's a weird thing, because we are competitors, but we're not really. We all would like to see each other do well. And when someone has a great sale, it's not like, oh, I wish I had that. It's like, brilliant. That is fantastic that that's happened for them. And you look at it and think that will be me at some point, and I'll have that feeling. So
yeah. Shell says another question for you. How many months has Liz wanted Peter to go back to his 9 to 5? I mean, it's a good question. On a serious note, was Liz supportive of this decision? Did she understand what you were trying to do when you started?
Yeah, totally. I mean, she's always been very supportive with, obviously we looked at the financial aspect, because she wasn't working. She hasn't worked since my oldest was born, or at the time.
Oh, right. Okay.
She went back to work a year ago. It's a weird thing, because she managed to get 2 jobs the same day. She's
so Liz is working now.
She's working now, but it's part time. She does like 2 mornings.
Okay.
She's a teacher, so it's 2 mornings in one school and 3 mornings in another. So it's like 2.5 days a week total. But at the time when I started, she hadn't worked for like about 10 years. And obviously, I was going into a situation where I had a regular wage, to going into something that, for the first few months I was earning very little. So, it was difficult, and we did think about, maybe I could do part-time work and do reselling as well. But we sort of talked it through, and it was just a case of, well, let's just go for it and see how it goes. So she's always been very supportive about it all. And she doesn't mind me being in the house with her, as long as I stay in the little box room and don't disturb her.
As long as you stay where you're put.
And don't make any noise.
It's funny. I've chatted to many people over the years, and obviously Andrea and I made the decision both at the same time to quit our pretty decent jobs, and you're never actually prepared. We thought we might be prepared, but you always get to that kind of precipice where it's like, well, I've got to jump now. I've talked about this till I'm blue in the face. I've actually got to do this now. and it's always going to be scary.
It's the second time. I don't know. I remember when Liz was first got pregnant, so that's sort of like 12, 13 years ago. And I was having a hell of a time at my work, and I came in and I told her I'd quit. I'd quit the job, and I didn't have another job to go to. But the difference there was I looked for a job and then got a job almost straight away. So, but the pressure was on for a little bit. But I mean, she does like it because obviously it has given her a certain amount of freedom that I'm around, that she's able to sort of pop out, during, if the kids are around, she can sort of do things and not have them having to be dealing with them all the time, or if there's a school pickup or whatever. So yeah, no, it's good.
Fantastic. If your job is also your hobby, it's a win. Totally.
Well, that is the thing about it, and that I'm getting more into this now, because I think when I started, it was like, okay, that thinking about how much I've got to earn or whatever, and now it's okay, just do your regular thing, but enjoy the hunt, and that's why you got into it. Enjoy the hunt of trying to find something, and I'm a lot more relaxed. I'm definitely more relaxed about it.
It is taking this from I think reselling part-time is, I think, perfect if you're enjoying the job you're in and you can supplement that income. When you go full-time, it really focuses you on it, and suddenly it's your job, and there's an implied pressure there. You have to try and earn whatever it is you need to get out of it, and you can lose the joy in it. So I try and say to people, try and retain that joy in the hunt. Try and retain the joy in every sale, and that has never got old for me. I mean, I don't know if I'm a kind of simple guy, but that ka-ching excites me as much now as it did the first time. And so if you keep that joy and keep that hobby element, the elements that drew you into this, if you can keep that joy, then you're winning. You're doing something that's fun for a living, right?
And try and keep everything sort of under control, so not do sort of too much of one thing but not enough listing, and or too much listing and not enough sourcing. I mean, we all have our sort of it was a question on the chat the other day of what is your weakness, and mine was sourcing. And of course, I think you and Tom said, "Oh, we love sourcing. We can do that all day." But I seem to struggle with it. So we all have our sort of things we can improve on. So
and once somebody cracks the formula, the work-life balance, just hit me up and let me know.
Totally.
So I wanted to chat about YouTube. Apparently you've got a channel.
Don't tell anyone. Secret.
So why YouTube? Why would you start a YouTube channel? What was the inspiration behind that?
Well, again, I mean, I suppose 3 years ago, it was like, why on earth would I do that when I'm busy reselling and having my own business? Why would I waste time on YouTube? But I think, well, when I started, I didn't have any knowledge. So, I'm not going to go on and I know people do journeys, but I was so busy trying to work out the reselling. I thought, well, I'm not going to go near it for a bit. And then after 3 years, it was a case of like, oh, well, okay, I've gleaned something from this. And like I say, it's just, I suppose the channel is just doing simple things, but regularly. So it's not, you're not going to watch my videos and go, that's the secret. But hopefully it encourages sort of people just to do regular little bits. And I think at the time I was doing my YouTube channel, I mean, reselling YouTube channels are quite strange, I think, because I think there are a lot which are a social element, which is fantastic. So people can go on streams and be on there for hours. But I did sort of want to keep it to being a concise kind of reselling content. And so all of my videos are, I'll probably do about a couple a week, and they're about 10 minutes long. Mm-hmm. And they're not anything that anyone else isn't doing. It's what I've sold or what I'm doing or this, that, and the other. And then on a Monday, I'd sort of do an hour live, which is just a listing, which again is kind of what I do every day. It's like waking up in the morning and getting some stuff done. So that's what that is. Yeah. And I mean, since I've done it, the first thing I got out of it was it actually made me work harder, because the actual thought of coming on and saying, I was going
to ask, did it have a positive effect? Yeah,
totally. Because I mean, I sort of saw after a couple of years of reselling, I'd got into a really good routine, and the thought of coming on YouTube and going, actually, I haven't done anything for a couple of weeks because I can't be arsed. You couldn't do that. So you have to come, you have to show what you've done. Definitely it makes you accountable.
The accountability, that was the word I was going to say, is real, and it's helpful. Certainly when I've tried, and I want to do another one soon, or perhaps we could hook up for that, is another challenge yourself to see how much you can list in a week sort of thing. And I have never been as productive as when I do those. I did one with Derek not that long ago, actually, and I picked like the worst week. I can't remember what was going on. There was all sorts of weird.
I think I'd really struggle with that now because of the sort of lack of sourcing. So
be
terrible. But what would be good for me is how much you could source in a week. That would be fantastic.
Well, okay.
It would be totally flip side because I'm bad at that. I'm not too bad at the listing, but
that's one side of YouTube that has been good. That it keeps you accountable. It keeps you. It makes you think about what you're doing because you're going to show someone else, and it does make you accountable for what you're up to.
I mean, the other amazing thing is the feedback I've got from what sounds like a simple thing, which is like the List 5 Live. Because I think when I first did, I remember Tommy Bernard saying he didn't get it, and I can understand that because someone might look at that and go, "Only 5? What are you doing? You're only listing 5 things." But the key thing to get across is it's not the 5, it's the consistency. And so I always sort of say, okay, you do 5, and if you get into the groove, maybe put them in drafts or whatever you want to do. But that consistency and doing it early on, I know Z has mentioned before that it really helped him. And when he said that, and there's been a couple of other people too, but to hear Z say that it had helped him, I found amazing because obviously Z is someone I watched, and to sort of think, can I actually be a reseller? Can I do this? And so to get that feedback, just knowing that it has actually helped people and people enjoy it, is amazing.
Well, I think it is helpful because if people are like me, my trouble is starting. Yeah. Once I get into the groove of listing, I'm off, and then it's like you can't stop me. But I build up listing to be like a difficult, complicated thing. It's really not once you get into it, and I build it up. So I think you're right. My 5 things, well, you're not going to get rich doing that, but it's starting. What you do after that is up to you.
It's the starting, which is the trick.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have linked the channel. Did I? Yes, I definitely did. It is cool. Well, you've got it on your little name there.
Yeah, you might, if you search it, you might get lots of things about various receptacles to keep vinegar in. But I'm in there somewhere.
Yeah. So we can expect you're going to carry on with the List 5 Live. That's once a week.
Yeah, once a week on a Monday, it's sort of 11 a.m. just after Shelley. So I watch Shelley and watch her overrun, and then just go live anyway. But I enjoy watching Shelley. That's always good to watch. And then, like I say, just normally do a couple of either sales videos or what I'm doing, or sourcing videos, which there hasn't been a lot of that recently. That's what I'm really missing. Since I've been doing YouTube, because I started in, I think it was October, I haven't actually been at a boot sale. I've done a few jumble sales and things like that, but I was absolutely dying to sort of go down to my local one at Hook Road Arena, get a load of stuff and bring it back and go, this is what I got at the boot fair. I used to do them on Instagram, and of course Instagram is not really a place for that because of the size of the stories, but yes, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Well, haul videos may be coming back on this channel. I mean, we're going to go and check out a boot sale this weekend, which is going to be weird. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Speaking of Shelley, actually, to be frank, if you've motivated Z, you got skills.
Well, it was only for a short period of time, I think, but there was a period of a few weeks where he was sort of really saying, "Oh, thanks, Pete, you really motivated me." But I was talking to him today, and he goes, "Oh, I'm not really into the reselling at the moment." That's because he's a pro streamer.
Well, he's got that to fall back on, you see.
Yeah, exactly.
Nathan, I agree. The first listing is the hardest. I mean, I've been listing today, and it's true. It's like, breaking that seal kind of moment. It's like, oh, okay, that took 5 minutes. I'll do another one, and I don't know what. And I still have that blockage, and I want to keep saying things like that because people think I've got this sussed. I really don't, and I struggle with the day-to-day stuff even now. and I've been listing since the 90s, and I'm still no good at it.
Well,
It's like,
I mean, it is weird watching you, because when I used to first watch your channel, I used to try and think of the question I can ask that can help me with the reselling, and I see other people do that now. So I'm like, how do you do this? How do you do that? And you were very much like, yeah, and you've always done it, and that's something I've always appreciated, is that we're all in different situations, and you have to work it out for yourself. And it was very much like that Monty Python thing, is you've all got to, when Brian's going, you've all got to think for yourselves, and the whole crowd are going, yes, we do. We all have to think for ourselves.
Yes, we're all individuals. I'm not.
Yes, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, yes, we are all individuals. But that is that the help is there, but at the end of the day, it is down to you to fit it to your situation. I've just seen Tom saying he's up for a sourcing challenge, so that might be.
Well, you're taking on a master there.
To go into, he could source all day in one of his containers.
Neil says procrastination is my forte. Oh my, the t-shirt ideas are coming in thick and fast. We've had it's interesting watching George. We all know George. He's got his like little merch stuff going on and that.
Yeah.
We've had t-shirt ideas, just phrases to do with reselling, some really good ones, and we've had them for like probably getting on 3 years.
Well, I remember you finding out about merch and watching those two guys who did a lot of merch, and Texas.
We had them on merch, so that's Amazon merch in America. But getting them on, just organising our Teespring account and getting them available, it's just taking me forever. It's this old procrastination thing again. But yeah, procrastination is it's a tough one. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Yes, indeed, you are, Ian. Very naughty. So yeah, believe it or not, we've been on an hour, which is quite amazing. So yeah, please do go over and check out the channel. The link for Peter's channel should be below. If not, search the Vinegar Jar as spelt there, all one word, and it does come up.
Yeah.
And have a look around and subscribe. So yeah, well, maybe once we're back sourcing again, we'll do a listing challenge at that point. Once you refill the shelves, because listing challenges I want to do more of. It keeps me on track.
Yeah, it is looking a bit bare on the shelves, which is good, but also a bit worrying. So yeah, can't wait to get some new stuff in.
Just quickly before we wrap this up, so is that where you are there, where you do your listing from, and is that where?
This is where I list, and this is where I have the majority of my active stock. So I've got about 5 racks in here, but when I sort of get stuff, I've got an area it goes into before it goes on, and my clothes are in a different area. But I'm not a big clothes reseller. I probably have 2 big tubs full of clothes, and I don't particularly like it. So, but this is where all of the stuff is, or the majority of it, all in this little tiny room.
Yeah,
and I've got 500 items. How is that possible? It's crazy.
I know.
They all fit in.
I'm just gonna finish on a few comments. Before all this, we were planning a pickup challenge. Looking forward to doing that when this is all over. Yes, Colin, absolutely. Quite surprised Nick doesn't have merch. Even Ads does. Yes, he does. Oh, Ads is the king of merch.
Ads is the king of a lot of things, isn't
he? It's amazing.
Some of his videos lately.
Quickly, MB, welcome. Hi, Nick. I'm a new subscriber and have had a clear out around my home. Good. Have sold £200 in 3 weeks. Cannot believe it. Wow. That's fantastic. Good for you.
That is amazing. I mean, I still remember that first few sales in my first month, and it was like, oh my God, I've got like, I don't know, £400, and it's just come from sort of this stuff that I've sold. It's like magic.
Yeah.
And nothing beats that feeling, that first initial sort of hit.
Money out of nothing.
Yeah.
Sam, quickly, yes, we are still planning to go. We plan to make a video. It may be as simple as, look at the size of this queue, we're going home. But
that's what
we will make a video and share our experiences if we can.
I'm going along to suss it out. I'm thinking it's highly likely that I might get there and then come home.
Yeah, it will be interesting. We're hoping to have a couple of people on Sunday who are also planning to go, so we can share our experiences. Yeah, we're just wrapping up. Hi, Lucy. Great stream. Bye, guys. Only saw the end. Typical. Let's end on a few more comments before we go.
I will mention, we did the Ask Any Questions on Wednesday. I've got another one of those planned next Wednesday. I think so. That's 2 weeks since the last one, and got another 3 resellers on. So I've got some ladies on, so it's not a lads chat or anything. So it'd be good to sort of hear from them. I won't say who's on yet, but it'd be a nice surprise. So that's next Wednesday, 7:30, I think. So that's the plan.
Fantastic. Husty's Emporium says routine and time management are some of the hardest things in reselling, as there are so many little jobs involved in what we do. And because the majority of us work from home, the distractions are for me, right in front of me on my computer with YouTube. Yeah. The fridge is only a few paces away. The telly, the sofa is only a few paces away. It's a nightmare, right?
I've been watching so much YouTube videos of this guy who solves puzzles, like, puzzle cubes and stuff. And I just watch one and then I watch another. And I think I'm doing myself a favour watching it at double speed, but it's only so I can watch twice as much. So it's terrible.
Shall we end on Chris here? Hi, Chris. Must take my hat off to those who do it full time with a mortgage, rent, storage unit, etc. Yeah, it's not easy, and it's not for the faint-hearted. And yeah, thanks for the comment. Okay, well, I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope it was enjoyable for you, Pete.
Yeah, no. To some of the questions, you're kind of like, oh my God, I've never actually thought about that. But thanks for having me on. It's fantastic.
No, it's a pleasure. So we'll wrap this one up. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for the questions. I hope we answered a few. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up, stroke my ego. It needs it. And please check out Pete's channel. Again, I have linked it below, and go and have a look. Right. Thanks, everyone. Take care. And thanks for joining me, Pete. We'll see you soon.
See you later.